Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting into the second round of political battle and supremacy battle within this government. The first battle was that conflict between William Samoei Ruto, the president, and his deputy, Rigathi Gachagua. We are waiting to see how this case is going to end, whether Rigathi Gachagua is going to exit or be retained. The second wave of protest within the government is going to be the enemy from within. And the enemy from within here is Raila Amolo Odinga. When Raila got into this government, they called it a broad-based government. And we are told that William Ruto approached Raila and told him that Rigathi Gachagua and his people had infiltrated the Gen Z protest in a bid to topple his government. That is why Rigathi's close allies like Major Dong Honorable Gakuya, the former MP for Embakasi West, George Deuri, are being investigated, and very soon they will be arraigned in court because charges have been leveled against them. And we are told that Raila got into that government to help, quote unquote, William Samoei Ruto. That is what we were told. But after the conclusion, after Raila got into government, we can easily conclude that there were three objectives that Raila and Ruto wanted to achieve when they came together. Number one was to thwart the Gen Z's protest. At the height of this protest, when William Ruto was actually subdued, Raila told his people not to take part in the Gen Z protest. And when they walked out, that protest actually stopped. Gen Zs might have another chance in future, but that one was thwarted. Raila influenced his people indirectly and psychologically, thereby thwarting that protest. That was the first achievement, and Raila did it successfully. The second one was to take Rigathi Gachagua home. And if you see how the ODM legislators, both at the National Assembly and at the Senate, were at the forefront to ensure that Rigathi was impeached, then you will conclude that this was the second objective. People like Utinda Molo, James Orengo were there to offer legal advice that was needed, and they voted overwhelmingly to impeach Rigathi Gachagua. That was the second option. The case is in court, but at the National Assembly and the Senate, they did it successfully. Number three was to help Ruto sanitize these unpopular deals like Adani deal. When Ruto realized that there was a lot of controversy around this Adani thing, it was done in a very clandestine manner. In fact, were it not for that whistleblower, we wouldn't have known what was going to happen, even if Adani deal was a clean deal. But the manner in which it was being signed was really wanting. So when he realized that there was a lot of controversy, he called on Raila, and Raila convened a press conference. He sanitized that deal. So there were three things, and Raila has successfully achieved them. After helping William Ruto in what they now term stabilizing the government, the ODM is now saying that they deserve more. We know they were given Attorney General, even though we cannot say that the Attorney General is from ODM. All we know that they were given 4 cabinet secretaries. Oparanya is heading cooperative. We have Joho heading blue economy. We have Opio and I heading energy. And of course, we have in the Ministry of Finance, John Mbadi. But ODM is now saying that they have stabilized this government, but what they have been given is not commensurate to the work they have done. And therefore, they're saying they must be given more slots. That is why we have rumors that soon there's going to be another shakeup. There's going to be reshuffle in the PSS so that Raila can be accommodated. There are rumors that Moses Wetangula is soon going home. And there are several rumors that are happening that if Gachagua is going to be hosted successfully at the court level, then Kithure Kindiki is going to be sworn in as the deputy president. So it is being rumored that ODM has insisted that they want that slot, the interior, and they want the speaker, because they're saying without them, William Ruto would have not survived the orchestrated plan to oust him. Be that as it may, ladies and gentlemen, we still treat all this as rumor. But all we can say is that we have seen how William Ruto was assisted by Raila to achieve those three objectives. We still treat all this as street politics and rumor. But one thing that we have to assert is that in politics, there are three things that will always be very constant. Number one, interests that play around politics will ever remain. Whenever people have got their interests converging, they will always work together. There is betrayal. Anytime there are interests, you realize that comes in with it is betrayal. Like today, William Ruto accommodates Raila because they have got some similar interest, and Rigathi is betrayed. That is always there and is very constant. Number three is that in every government there must be an enemy. The enemy could be real or imaginary, and it has always led to some assassination of some politicians. Was it in 79? I don't know. When Tom Mboya was assassinated by forces that thought that he was poised to become the heir apparel in the Kenyatta government, and he was shot at a very young age. Robert Ouko apparently was murdered by forces that felt that Ouko was endearing himself to the US government, that the foreign powers had started liking him, and they even thought that Ouko would be the president because he was the foreign affairs minister, and the way he was answering questions really pleased the foreign powers. So sometimes the enemy is real, sometimes it is an imaginary, that you could be the one that will take over if something happens to the president, and the forces around the president, the deep state, will always identify those enemies. In 2007, when Raila and Kibaki formed a coalition government, Raila became the real enemy, and there was some jostling of power between Raila and Kalonzo, who was superior, who was senior, and it brought a lot of controversy and conflict within that government. Now, having explained this, I want to humbly submit to you that after this conflict between Ruto and his deputy, the second enemy is going to be Raila Amolo Odinga. Within this Kenya Kwanza government, there are people who will be looking at Raila as the Johnny come late, the new kid on the block, because Raila determines what happens now because of the numbers that he gives William Ruto. When Kibaki was in power, I remember he brought people like Nyachai into government to help him after they had fallen out with Raila Amolo Odinga completely. But I want us to focus on Moses Wetangula, because it has been rumored that the next victim after Rigathi Gachagua is gonna be Moses Wetangula. The question is, why do you think Wetangula would be an easy target? That's what I want us to look at, because we do not know for sure whether Moses will be ousted. This is a rumor, but why do you think, if this will be true, why do you think Moses Wetangula would be an easy target? That's what I want us to look at. Before we do this, allow me to request you to subscribe to our channel if you're watching us for the first time. Click the notification bell to allow YouTube to notify you anytime we release a video. Please help us by giving this video many likes. It promotes that video when you do that, and it promotes our channel. If you can share our videos, please do. We really appreciate, and thank you very much for our returning subscribers and all our supporters. May God bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to give you reasons why Moses Wetangula will be an easy target. If at all the broad-based government decides, there is going to be an easy target. Number one, William Ruto has consistently tried to persuade Moses Wetangula to fold his party to join one UDA party. Moses has declined, and that has angered William Ruto. And if at all an opportunity can arise that he can get that support to oust Moses Wetangula, he will do it very early in the morning. And with that refusal, because it's on record that the Chief Minister, Musalia Mudavadi, agreed to fold his party, but Moses refused. So with that, William Ruto is not happy, and that will inform the decision to oust him very easily. Number two, if Moses Wetangula is going to be ousted, it is going to help the broad-based government to create just one center of power in Western, that being Mudavadi, and Mudavadi will be very easy with it, because Moses Wetangula seems to be pulling away the Bungoma part, the Buhusu part. Lawyers have got sub-tribes. We have Buhusu, we've got Maragoli, and all that. There seems to be the Bukusus and the Maragolus pull apart from opposite directions. For them to achieve creating one center of power that will be ensuring that they annihilate politically Moses Wetangula, so that Mudavadi can remain as the chief minister and the Minister of Foreign Affairs with all the powers around him. And Mudavadi will easily support that. Number three, Raila Amolo Odinga is very bitter with Moses Wetangula. You know, William Ruto, according to the IEBC result, William Ruto defeated Raila with over 200, about 200,000 votes. During the submissions at the Supreme Court, the presidential case, it was found out that Jose Camargo had some footprints in Bungoma. That is where massive irregularity took place, and therefore the ODM fraternity believes that Raila's votes, or rather the rigging that achieved the 200,000 votes, happened in Bungoma. With that anger, Raila would easily accept revenge against Moses Wetangula, and he will support that ouster very fast, because if he's ousted, then Otiende Amolo, as it's being said, will be there. So if he's ousted, Raila will have his person there because they believe they have stabilized the government. So you realize that Moses Wetangula is sandwiched among three people: Moses Mudavadi, Raila Amolo Odinga, and William Samoei Ruto. They will push him. Just like Gachagua became an enemy of Raila, of Ruto, of Uhuru Kenyatta, there was no one to help when he really needed them the most. Number three, Raila still remembers how Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula ditched him when he needed them after CORD and NASA, and Raila was forming a team in 2022. Mudavadi, together with Moses Wetangula, decided to join William Ruto. He's still bitter. So if an opportunity would arise where he will revenge upon Moses Wetangula, he would easily do that. The final reason why I believe that Moses Wetangula would be an easy target is because even if he is ousted, there is nothing much that will happen. People will make noise from Bungoma. He doesn't have, many MPs. The reason why Raila still controls, part of what is happening in the politics of Kenya, he's got many members of parliament. That is why he was needed to ouster Rigathi Gachagua. So the numbers will always speak for themselves. If you don't have the numbers, you can make as much noise as you want. But without those numbers, we want people who can destabilize that parliament. When a bill comes into parliament and you don't have the numbers, it's easier. If William Ruto brings any bill and maybe Moses Wetangula had got about 10 to 15 members, it will be very difficult to joke around with him. But since he does not have many members of parliament, he will be an easy target, because maybe some 2 or 3 members of parliament will be making noise. Now, you remember even the members of parliament from Rigathi Gachagua's backyard ditched him. So the very few members can easily be bought. We are in Kenya, do you know what is happening? With that, without the numbers, Moses Wetangula will be an easy target, and you cannot rule out this rumor that he will soon be ousted. As it is, we treat it as a rumor, but these rumors always turn out to be very true. That's why I'm telling you that there's a fight within this government. There are people are now looking at Raila as the enemy, because Raila is coming with a big force, and William Ruto is ready to kick out everybody just to ensure that Raila is there because of the numbers and because of the number of supporters that Raila has. That is why they had to, thwart Gen Z, the supporters and the members of parliament. I don't know what to think, but that is my take.